hopeless, if I'm feeling very hopeless in my life, like my career, my relationship, my home, my other thing and everything. So as a young person, as a middle-aged person, any age person, what is the first step to start myself to change my mindset in the positive direction so I
Right.
can give right direction for my new life? I
Mm.
want this answer from your side.
Well, I'm going to put my guru coach hat on here because it just happened to me yesterday with this young man, 19 years old, and he was insisting on an urgent session. He was so upset. And what he wanted to work on was his anxiety because of what's happening in the world. There's so many things happening that are a displeasure to him. So I just knew instantly that having a conscious conversation just is good, but limit it to maybe 5 minutes because I knew I needed to take him into his subconscious mind. Because remember, the subconscious runs our lives. Our beliefs in our subconscious run our lives. So we jolly well need to know what's in there. So I went and I took him in, and he picked the word fire. What about fire? That was really bothering him at a subconscious level. And remember, his topic was anxiety. That's what he wanted to talk about. So when we brought it out of the subconscious mind about fire, he goes, oh, he said, well, the reason I'm anxious is because I feel I am in imminent danger. Can you see what happened there? We could have had a general discussion around anxiety, and that's fine. But we took him so deep into his subconscious to find out that what was really bothering him was that he was in imminent danger. So we had to have a discussion. Well, what does that mean, imminent danger? And what do you feel could happen to you around fire and imminent danger? So he downloaded. And by the time he downloaded, we were able to come up with a beautiful positive belief system that changed his mindset within a very short period of time within the session.
Mm.
So, and I'm happy to dig it out. It'll take me a second to dig it out. Just, we need to understand our beliefs that are causing this hopelessness. Yeah, because he was feeling hopeless. He didn't feel like he had any control over his life, with everything going on. And he definitely, if it stayed there, he could have moved into a potential suicidal position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we need
Yeah.
to address it at the
Yeah.
subconscious was so perfect. Within an hour and a half, he was so happy, he had a big smile on his face, and he was moving forward. So
It's that loss of control, I believe, that a lot of people feel, why they move into this hopelessness. And I always look at it from the perspective of the problem isn't the problem. And what I mean by that is the perspective and the meaning that we give certain thoughts. Like we see things happening, we see terrible things happening, and immediately we have certain thoughts, we give it a meaning, and that meaning becomes very threatening. That meaning becomes very limiting in our control over them, and we start feeling like there's nothing I can do. Everything is terrible. Everything is like, even the things in your life that are still working, suddenly it's like this black and white perspective to say, no, it's terrible, and I'm moving into anxiety. And so from that perspective, I think it's just important to look at it and say, yes, there are things happening outside. Let's redirect. Let's take a look at what is the meaning we're giving certain experiences, because that meaning is going to lead us in a certain set of emotions. And those emotions are getting us to act or not act or feel a certain way. And it kind of goes in a circle, because if we do or don't do, or we get really hopeless and depressed, then our our quality of life, the results that we produce, our relationships that we have are not going to be a positive one. And so we kind of go in these circles, and you're right that the limiting beliefs and the thoughts along that is a really important component. So then you keep going in circles in that unless you kind of get out of that, merry-go-round, so to speak, because focusing on the things that we cannot control is a losing game.
Yeah, totally.
I believe we kind of, in that moment, what has always helped me is to focus on, okay, what do I have control over? And the one thing I have control over to some extent is how I feel in that given moment. And sometimes it's just the quality of the thoughts, the quality of the questions I ask myself, the quality of focus of what are things that are good feeling thoughts.
Yeah.
When I feel like I'm getting into that level of hopelessness. And from there, I can really bring up my overall feeling, my overall perspective on life and what it has to offer. Because let's remember, we all live in a level of duality. There's a black, there's a white, there's a good, there's a not good, right? And so I think from that perspective, it's a certain level of contrast and that we have to navigate through life. And the more we take over the control of the things that we can control, which, are good feeling thoughts of the things that are going well, which we all still also have in our life, as general as they might be. But focusing on that, I have found, is helping us get out of that gloom and hopelessness and like everything is black kind of scenario.
So something you triggered there, when he said, I am being in imminent danger, he said, I won't be able to accomplish my goals within a war or a pandemic or whatever going on, or be able to do something for the world. So the belief system that we created for him and integrated into his subconscious was, I, and his name, am now safe and protected. He needed to feel safe and protected. And therefore, I peacefully go about my day and I sleep peacefully because of my belief in my own higher power. See, he couldn't do it on his own. When you are feeling so hopeless like that, he needed to feel safe and protected, and B, he needed to reconnect with his belief and faith in his higher power. And man, he walked away, and just so you know, we did a second subconscious piece, and it was, he got the word liver. And so one of the things that was very important here was that when we go into a hopeless state, sometimes people will turn to alcohol and drugs and so on.
Yeah.
And his subconscious was saying, no, I need to stop that, because I've been going into the alcohol route, and it could be affecting my body, it could be affecting my mind, and so on. So anyway, his greatest learning from that whole session was that he said, gosh, I'm more spiritual than I thought I was. It was kind of cute. Anyway, he walked away so happy. He started feeling very anxious. He couldn't sleep, just feeling very hopeless. And then in the end, he walked away feeling very, very happy. So that, again, the importance of going into that subconscious mind to find out why we're hopeless is key.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then switching it from a negative belief to a positive belief, right? Yeah.
Can anybody out there